I'm Matt Garber and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Easy2Grow product. This is from a company called AutoPot and it has made a lot of my gardening very simple. You can tell from the outside of this box that it has a lot of interesting photos on it and claims. So without further commentary, I'd like to go ahead and open up the box and show you what's inside. Okay, what you see in front of you is what is called a smart valve. And this is a mechanism that is very innovative. What it actually does is it hinges in two different directions. When it sits on the bottom of a tray or whatever other type of watering system or hydroponic system that you'd like to use, what happens is you have two cylinders. And each of those make adjustments to the level of the water that is being delivered. One actually is a switch that allows water to flow in. The other is a switch that tells the unit to shut off. It's a non-powered unit, and so the way that they have developed this with the internal floats, very ingenious. The blue unit that you see is just a protective cover that goes over the top of that, and on the back side you'll see that there's a red knob, and that is just a screw cap that comes off and allows you to put 1/4-inch drip line onto that barb. What you want to do is slide this red sleeve up onto your drip line, and then after the drip line is shoved up on there, you could thread down onto it. Some of the other parts in the box include a top hat grommet, and I'll explain more about what that's used for. To deliver the water to this particular unit, you would need a reservoir, and that reservoir can be anything. It can be a bucket, it can be a garbage can, it could be a number of things. So what I did was I took a drill bit, it was actually 11 millimeters, and drilled a hole at the base of this bucket. I took this grommet and try to give you a little bit better view, and I just shoved it into the hole. So what that allows me to do is to simply push my drip line into that bucket, let it penetrate on the other side a little bit. Sometimes some of the nutrients that are used by people will produce a few sediments, and that's what this other piece in the box is used for. This is actually a small filter system, and your water flows through gravity through that filter, and the hose barb on the other side is what gets pushed into your drip tubing inside the bucket. This is what the drip tubing looks like. What comes with the package is actually a little bit thinner walled than what you would get at like a local hardware store. And if you were to substitute this out for landscaping microtubing, you'll find that it might be too thick for the collar to fit down on. But that's really not a problem, because the landscape tubing will pop onto that same barb, and you really don't have to use that if you don't need to. The last thing that's in the box is an adapter, and this adapter is just in case you're running 1/2-inch tubing. You can drop that down to the smaller tubing, by the time it hits your valve. Say, for example, you have multiple valves in play. You might want to run 1/2-inch tubing, and then once you get out to the valve itself, use the adapter to get down to the smaller tubing. Let's see if I could show you a little bit better picture. All right, so this is a picture that is on the front of the box. It shows a shallow tray, and someone, for example, they suggest has gone on vacation, so they take their potted plants, they set it on the tray, and they allow the smart valve to gravity feed and water those plants while they're away. This can be used for other things, such as grow bags. Larry Hall is a very well-known individual who has done things like kiddie pools and rain gutters, and those use more of a Kratky float valve, but you'll find out that instead of using the Kratky float valve, if you're not handy with drill bits and connections, you could actually use one of these valves instead. You could just drop it inside the gutter or inside the kiddie pool, and that will maintain a shallow level of water underneath your grow bags or your buckets. And in the future, what I'll be doing is I will want to take the little bucket that I showed you, and I'm going to set up a tray, and I'm going to set up some little seedlings just to show everyone what this system can do. But this is my introduction to this particular valve. It's called the AutoPot Easy2GO system. Thanks for watching.